There we go. Hey folks, Lester here, hanging out with my best boy Al Davis. And I don't care if y'all want to call him Al Davis, OWL. I don't care anymore. It was actually Al Davis, like in Al, AL. But I don't know if it's just been become a joke or what, but the comments today are full of everyone calling him Al, like whoo, whoo, Al. Anyway, a lot of y'all are wondering about the whole handoff to Luis with the bird sanctuary, and that will not happen until later this afternoon. Luis is working today, and as soon as he's done with work, he and his wife will drive out. Al's doing pretty good. I don't know why he looks so he's about to pass out and fall asleep up there, but no, he's doing really good. He's been eating this morning. We fed him, and he's doing really, really good as far as what I know he needs, which is just to eat. My worry is that he's not eating enough. We talked about that yesterday, so I don't want to do a repeat of yesterday's live. But I wanted to bring him with me today. It's the official Lunch with Longhorn Lester live that I do every Friday. And I just thought, you know what, this might be our last time to have Al on for a while. I know he's going to get well, and I know that he's going to be handed back to us at some point, a very nice, strong, and healthy bird. And he will have a forever home here at the sanctuary. I don't know exactly how we're going to work it with Cornholio if he in fact is a male, but he'll have his own little sweet family at some point. I can promise you that. And we'll do everything in our power to make sure that we get him back safely. I've been trying to offer him a snack. He's camera shy. You all know that he's very camera shy, a lot like Lester, his human daddy. So it's unlikely he'll eat on camera, but we have different things that we make up for him. So anyway, we don't know for a fact if he's male or female. There's only two ways to figure that out. One, you can wait until they begin to develop certain patterns on their feathers, and he's not old enough to see those patterns yet. Or number two, you could have a DNA test. You could have a little blood drawn and send that off to see if he's male or female. You remember we did that with the big birds, the ostriches. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments and I'm trying to go back and forth. I don't want to move my head a whole lot because it disturbs him, but I have my YouTube here in front of me, and then of course we have the Facebook up on the camera there with the little light, and it makes me feel like I'm kind of like going crazy here, back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, I will. So a lot of people are asking about the sanctuary he's going to be going to. That would be really neat if y'all wanted to check that page out. It's Magoo's Avian Sanctuary, and I believe they spell Magoo's Maggo. I might even be saying that wrong, but I've known Luis for several years, guys. He's helped us a whole lot with Carl and the babies. If you remember, Luis has been the one who took all of the blood when we did the DNA test for the baby birds, the ostriches. He did all that for us. He's also was instrumental in getting the first chicks that we had here. They all had coccidia. He took all of them and got them back to full health. They all ended up being little males, so we couldn't keep them. He ended up finding homes for all of them. But Luis is really good with birds. Now, I don't know a lot of bird sanctuaries, but when you get to know somebody, you're good to stick with them if they're worth sticking by. This morning we had our farriers come out. Courtney and Ashley came out with the baby, and that was a lot of fun. I believe they're going from here over to my dad's house to take care of his horse, and then from there they'll be going over to Longhorn Lester's to take care of Dixie and Beverly. So them ladies have a full day ahead of them. I've been here all morning. Jamie's at the other property doing her thing over there. And so I appreciate this. A lot of folks are chiming in to let me know that they think my decision is the right one. And I appreciate that, guys. It is so hard. I don't think you know how hard it is to have to ask someone else to come in and help but I don't want to be so selfish and so self-centered that I end up seeing this bird continue to suffer. So he's being a really good guy. He's I told Luis, we talked yesterday, and I says the one thing about Al is you'll notice you won't have to fight him. He's going to just be very patient, and he'll sit there on your arm, or if you have a perch or wherever you're going to put him, and he'll do what you want him to do. Luis said the first thing they'll do is run some blood work and have all that stuff, returned and figure out where to go from there. Of course, he'll find ways to get him to eat, and then they'll take care of the crossbeak. I believe, and I'm only getting this from all of you all, and of course, Jason told me that there is a way you can sometimes begin to slowly file down or cut down some of the beak to reshape it the way it needs to be. For now, he just eats kind of a wet mash. And yeah, and he's doing fine. Y'all don't think he's not eating. He is. But I don't think he eats enough. And I say that because the other birds who are from the same, I don't think you call it a litter, but the same hatch as him are probably double his size by now. You've all seen those videos, and they're, I would think, probably double his size. And so it could be, I think Jamie talked about possibly maybe his egg wasn't turned right or whatever has to happen in all of that process of all the things that a hen will do to have healthy babies. But nonetheless, he has a couple of issues. It's not just the crossbeak. There's also some other deformities. I hope that's the right word. I don't know if that's the right word or not. But I think if I say something that's not the new politically correct term, y'all will realize that there's a time and a place for all that stuff, but you can't hold it against people if they don't keep up with the modern trends in what is the proper way to say things, because that changes on a very regular basis. And I'll be darned, I told someone recently, I had made a comment to a family member that might have been perceived as racist. I talked about loud Spanish music and, popping piñatas. I don't even know what it was in reference to. And I was told later that I could have offended somebody. And I didn't know that calling out a cultural thing was offensive these days. So I don't know what's offensive and what's not. But I will say this, I'm in a position now where I don't have to answer to anyone besides you all. I don't have to answer to a principal. I don't have sponsorships, so I can't lose my sponsorships for things that I say. I don't have sponsorships. And I also, I don't mean to get off on a rant, but I'll tell you something really funny. This is real funny, actually. I'm only paraphrasing. But I got an email, and this is listen, if you ever talk to Jason or Daniel, Dutch, any of the guys that have channels, even Brianne, Jake, and all the works, my dad, they'll all tell you that sometimes people can just be mean. And so what we have the power to do, I hate to do it, but what we have the power to do is just block and ban people. So when you block them and ban them, they can still see your content, but they can't comment anything on it. And so there was a very vocal lady one day who made a particular comment, and I blocked and I banned that person. So I'm not denying her content. She can come watch the channel and watch the videos and do all of that, but I don't let her interact with everybody. And so I got an email the next day once she realized that she could no longer. Someone said, I just noticed Al. I've been watching for 3 minutes and I just noticed Al. He is such a good boy. He'll just sit there and look around. Now, this is his good eye. So he's making sure he looks at you with his good eye. His bad eye is a little bit harder. But no, that's not true. You can block somebody that can still see. They just can't comment. Now, they can go create another profile. Anyway, this lady was very upset because she lost her voice. She lost her voice in being able to say what she wanted to say about everything. And so she took the time to send an email. And in her email, I think it was very clever how she wrote the email, but she said that now I'm paraphrasing, we take a lot of pride in addressing the fact that we always show the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're not going to be a farm who's going to sugarcoat things and tell you how great we are and how wonderful our animals are and how everyone is super healthy and life is so easy. We're not going to be those people. We're going to be honest and let you know when times are good, we'll tell you times are good. And when times are hard, we're going to tell you when times are hard. And if we go about doing things that not everyone agrees with, we're still going to show you how we got certain jobs done. If there's someone slacking around the farm, then by all means, I'm going to call it out. You know me, I will call it out. And I will also go to that individual and tell them personally, but I'm also going to call it out because this is my channel, this is my farm. And I will talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes things can be kind of ugly, and not everyone wants to talk about the ugly. But nonetheless, that's what we do. So this lady took that little snippet and tried to use it against me. She said that you take a lot of pride in saying that you will, show the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yet, when someone in the comments says something that's not good, in fact, it might be bad or ugly, you want to block and delete them. You want to ban them for saying things that you don't agree with. And so I try to find a tactful way to say things. Y'all know that Jamie has a lot more tact than what I do. But I pretty much said it the way that Facebook and YouTube says it to us creators. That, Facebook and YouTube offers us a platform. They offer us a platform that we can produce content. But even in that platform, we have to also adhere to community guidelines. In saying so, we cannot have a page that's going to have vulgarity, constant profanity, indecency, criminal activities, things that will incite social unrest. And so we can make videos all day and as long as they follow the guidelines, we never get put in what they call, or what you guys joke as, Facebook jail. We never have to go to jail. Now, sometimes I'll get a video demonetized, which means that it's not suitable for advertisers. And you guys know that if we don't have advertisers on our channels, we're not going to we'll put out a video that'll make nothing. And that's great for you all, but it's not going to help pay our bills. So what I told this lady was something very similar. I said, when you go onto our videos, you're sort of going onto our platform, our channel. And so we also have our guidelines that we will allow you to be a part of our channel, will allow you to be a part of our page. And we would love to hear your comments, but we're not going to sit here and take comments that are going to degrade, put down, bash us, or, and then I told her, I says, ma'am, you have to know that sometimes negativity can spawn more negativity. And that's not what we want to have. We don't want to have a page where right when you turn it on, you go to the comments and all you see is page after page after page of comments with people hating on each other. Some folks having to come to your defense and some folks coming to attack. And I says, you know what? We like to read comments, but you're not going to continue to just spread that kind of mess around on our page. And this is the worst thing I could ever do. This is the worst. I probably should have let it end right there. But I says, ma'am, what you're more than welcome to do is go create your very own channel. You can make one for Facebook. You can make one for YouTube. And on your channel, you can say whatever you want to say, because in fact, it's your channel. And the only one that can stop you would be the Facebook and YouTube people. And I never got a reply back to that. But I just hope that people understand that I don't like sitting here reading hateful things, especially things that are going to incite anger amongst people. And we're not perfect by any means. We have made a lot of mistakes along the way. And then yesterday, talking about Al, I don't know if it was the same person or a couple of different people who kept saying that we should have. Well, okay, so the number one the dumbest thing I've ever read are the number of people who keep saying that we should have just put him under and let Mother Nature play its course. Guys, we don't do that. I understand that that is a general that idea is out there, that only the strong survive, Lester. Only the strong survive. Okay, that may have been great until we until we found ways that we can sometimes pamper and cater and a pat and a push to get some babies to survive when by all means they shouldn't. And so Al is one of those guys. Al's one of those that I'm certain that if we did not intervene, then he would probably not be alive today, because he has to have special accommodations that allow him to eat and allow him to drink. And if it weren't for those accommodations, we have to keep him separated from the larger turkeys or they would peck him to death. And if it were not for those accommodations and those things that we've had to do, then Al would be dead. And I can't believe there's people that would have rather seen that than this little guy on my back trying to find a way to survive. I'll keep going with this on this subject. Do you want to know how many people were mad? There was anger that we rescued Christmas because we could not do anything about Santa. Why would you take her away from her partner? They needed each other. So we did all that we could to rescue the little dog, and we finally have gotten Christmas back home, and she's doing wonderful, y'all. She's just doing great. She's living her best life. We're still attempting to get Santa, but do you want to know that now there's not just Santa, but there's 2 other dogs that live there with Santa, and I don't think people understand that. Now, if we go back and get Santa and we find a way to get Santa, now we're going to have people mad because we didn't rescue the other 2 that are sitting there. And that's not what we do, guys. That's not what we do. We are not a dog or a cat rescue. We thought we did a great thing in trying to offer Christmas a forever home. And if we could have caught Santa, we would offer him one as well. But the people that were mad, just the anger, the people just spitting the anger of how dare us take that one dog, Christmas, away from her partner. And I'm thinking, what would they rather us do? Just leave them both there. Let's just leave them both so they have each other. Or we at least try to give one a home and we're trying to catch the other one. It's just that stuff like that. It makes me wonder what if someone was born with a birth defect, a child? You would expect modern medicine to do all it could to help that baby, develop to term. And then whatever machines it took to have that baby, breathing or oxygen, whatever it took to have that baby begin to breathe on its own once it was born, no one would be saying, only the strong survive, Lester. Only the strong survive. You're going against Mother Nature, Lester. No one does that. That might have been a time and a place, but we've evolved as a civilization now to try to give those that are less fortunate at least a fighting chance. And so that's all we're doing, is giving a fighting chance. Hold on. I see Miss Walker here. Bailey Walker was that sweet young lady who went through that horrible hurricane. So Bailey Walker says, you really could start an entire dog rescue with the amount of strays in Texas. Unfortunately, it's a problem that can't be solved in a rescue or 2. So I will just piggyback off of that, Miss Walker, Bailey. And then I'll talk about Lana's comment. So Bailey, I don't want to say all of Texas, because the Plum Grove, the original Plum Grove where we live, when we were still at a population of 600, There was absolutely never a stray dog or a stray cat, not a one. Because what people would do, I guess there were people that would still dump their cats or dogs. But the thing is, if you were around and a cat and their dog showed up, you would just go take care of it. You would bring it home and you would take care of it. But it's been the population explosion here in this area in a county that's very poor. Guys, I'm not trying to belittle anyone in Liberty County or the county itself, but we are a poor county and there is no money allotted to stuff like that. One time, we were giving the judge a hard time because we were seeing all of our roads and our infrastructure, and nothing was set up. Nothing was set up to accommodate all the new growth of the development. And so we had a very heated, it was a heated discussion. And the judge stood in front of all the people and he took a sheet of paper and he folded it. And he goes, I want to show you guys what happens when we get our annual budget. And he talked about, now this is the budget. And so when he folds it one time, so the state gives you a budget. And then let's just say we have 8 precincts. So then he takes that budget and he folds it to where now there's 8 pieces. And so he says, now that budget that the state allotted us, our budget, if we divide it into our 8 precincts, and he shows you how each of the precincts now are fairly allotted what they need. But then when you get to each precinct in the county, then you have to think about how much goes to roads, how much goes to animal control, how much goes to, and I don't have any idea what county budgets look like. But what I will say is this: Plum Grove, the city of Plum Grove, has no money for the stuff that a lot of you guys have in your cities. So if you have these great animal controls and these trucks that drive out and catch these animals and keep your streets clean, we don't have that. When a dog is run over and there's a dog on the road, it has to be an individual with a tractor, hopefully, to go pick up that animal and discard of it, because we don't have a service to come by and pick up animals that have been run over and killed alongside the road. We don't Plum Grove itself does not even have a road crew. We have to rely on the county to come in and do road repairs and stuff, and it gets to be overwhelming. So I know that a lot of folks don't know what you don't know, and I'm not holding that against you all, but there are more strays in this area. You know what I could do? I can't do it live because I couldn't get a signal, obviously. But one day, if you want to see the saddest video, I could take my phone and set it up on my tripod there in the truck and then just start driving down all the streets. And we could drive by every taqueria, every washateria, every gas station, and just count the number of dogs that are homeless, that have no home, nowhere to call home. And it's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. But nonetheless, Christmas has a wonderful home and she's doing great. And we're still trying to catch Santa. So Lana says, what a disgusting comments. Leave Christmas there to just live in the streets because she has a dog friend. That friend is keeping her pregnant. That friend will eventually kill her with love. Yes. Lana, can you think about this for a minute? So we all know that Christmas is in fact pregnant, and she will be having babies at some point in the near future. So that did not happen on our watch. That happened while she was living on the streets. But could you imagine Christmas having to deliver babies as a homeless dog, sitting there in the parking lot of the Valero where she's been for the last 2 months, begging for anyone to throw down any scraps they possibly could. Hold on. Someone's trying to make you all go to some kind of girl chat. I will block that user for sure. Sorry about that. How dumb is that? I had to block that person. No, so we can only do what we can do. And even that's limited. We don't have a dog rescue. We don't have the kennels all set up. We don't have the know-how. We don't have the connections to take care of all of the dogs that are out there. We don't have a fostering program to foster them until we find them good homes. And that's going to be tough. Now, we are very blessed in the fact that we have a social media family, and we've already got lots of emails from people who would like to have a baby from Christmas. And so our only thing about that is we don't plan on keeping any, but we would just like that if you are going to want to adopt one of those babies, then you don't put it through a horrendous trek across country. I know it would be neat to come down and visit and meet you and you meet us and have a look around and all of that. But we would just hate to see a puppy of 8 weeks be put into a road trip of 3 or 4 days, even though people do it all the time with dogs. It just would feel sad to me. You're number one, having that dog has to go through the separation of, I see eyeballing me. Listen, I've said it before. My eyeballs are not soft tissue. If you want to eat, here's your snack. What I don't want is him to peck my eyes. He gets hungry sitting there, and I think that my eyes look more and more tasty. So he can't eat off the ground. He has to eat out of a bowl. He has to be able to kind of like scoop his food up. You hear him talking to me? It's not what he likes. It's not what he's in the mood for. He's not in the mood for that right now. So no, I will say this, and then I'll just drop the matter. But there are some gutless and some heartless people on the internet. And I'm so blessed that by and large, we don't have to deal with all of that. I appreciate you guys always supporting us and trying to let those folks know real fast that your comments are not welcome here. Sometimes people will argue back with you, but the good thing is they think twice before they come at it again. Where you going, buddy? You going to fly down? Are y'all watching this? I think he's getting tired of standing. I think he wants my eye. I think he's going to go for my eye at some point. That's going to really hurt. I'm going to be wearing a patch over one eye, I'm afraid. I don't like the way he's looking at me like that. That's a little bit nerve-wracking. Lester, your turkey hawk is cool. Isn't that great? He's such a great little guy. I can't wait to watch the videos of Luis and what he's going to do with him and getting him back to full health. I'm actually kind of terrified right now. This reminds me of the Alfred Hitchcock movie, The Birds. You know, the one where the birds all went crazy and killed all the people? But someone says, I think he might have just pooped. I don't think so. I don't feel anything on my back. Now, of course, I'm wearing 2 shirts, so let's hope that it stays there. Someone says, offer him a dish of water. So, Joanna's really cute. So, if you watch, I will. Give me a second to reach over and get a dish. Hold on, Al. Stay right there. All right, we are back with the same dish. This time, that dish has water. Let's see if he was thirsty. Are you thirsty? That's me spilling water. He's not peeing on me. That's me tilting water because I'm not looking what I'm doing. Are you thirsty, little bird? Oh, I don't know what to say. Al, just drink some water. Nope, he's just going to look at it. Want to sit here beside me? Come on. Sorry about all that. It looks worse than what it actually is. Here, drink that. There, drink that water. You want to drink that water? How many people have enough time just to sit around watching a bird drink water? Drink the water. People want to see you drink, sir. So I'm going to wet his beak. Guys, this is not mean. This is not mean. Sometimes you got to wet his beak so he knows what he's doing. So whenever you order chicks or ducks online and they come in the mail, the first thing you have to do when you get them is wet their beaks. They have to know that where to go for water. I think he's mad because I just gave him an apple dunk. Listen, you want any of this or not? He's scared I'm going to do it again. You don't got to put their face all the way in. You just get his beak wet. And so he'll know where the water's at if he wants it. and he doesn't want it. You're not going to drink any of this? I am very upset with Millie and Fiona right now because my mom come over yesterday and she brought me a Christmas gift, and she bought me some beef jerky. I like beef jerkies. I like different flavors of beef jerky. And mom brought some beef jerky, and I set it on the table here beside me while we opened the gifts. And I walked out to say bye to mom and, gave her a hug and stuff as she drove off. And I come back in, and if Millie and Fiona had not grabbed my package of beef jerky and was sitting there just having, yeah, I lost all my beef jerky in one sitting. Don't tell my mom that, because that might hurt her feelings that I let the dogs eat my beef jerky. It wasn't intentional, but yeah, my dog's got a full belly of beef jerky. Everyone's saying he looks to be very sleepy, and he does. He closes his eyes like that a lot. I think he likes my voice. Oh, funny story. There's a lady in the Netherlands who sends me emails on a regular basis, and she talks about how soothing my voice is. And now she's not flirting with me. She's not flirting with me, but she says that every night when she's having a hard time sleeping, she'll just turn on the videos and let them play. And because my voice puts her to sleep. And I'm like, great. I guess that's a compliment. I guess I'll take it. But I don't know what this little guy's thinking. Sometimes he does the craziest things. I'm going to miss him. But no, Luis will come today and pick him up. Someone says, sing him a lullaby. Tracy wants to hear me sing him a lullaby. Tracy, you know that everyone gives me a hard time for my singing voice. As a matter of fact, this entire week of videos, today was the worst video I'd made the entire week. I've made a ton of videos on all the channels. Longhorn Lester's Facebook, Longhorn Lester's YouTube, I'm a Survivor Facebook, I'm a Survivor YouTube, different videos on every platform. And if you want to know which was the lowest performing video of all time of this week, it was this morning's video. This morning's video. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because I was singing. Linda says, please don't sing. Linda, I just want to show y'all what I was doing. I thought it was beautiful. I took Al and I held him high above my head, and I sang this song. Have I ever told you you're my hero? You're everything I wished I could be. I could climb higher than the eagles. You are the wind beneath my wings. Yeah, that's all. That's all I sang right there. And I swear, if people did not tune out in 30 seconds, my average view time on that video was about 30 seconds. 30 seconds, guys. That was long enough to sing the song. And y'all said, screw it, I'm not watching anymore. You take stuff like that and you roll with it. Have I ever told you you're my hero? Listen, I don't know if he'll ever get sang to again. Have you ever been sang to? Seriously, have y'all ever been sang to? You're everything I wish I could be. If I could climb higher than the eagles. Is it Fly Higher? I don't have no idea how the songs go. Someone says, please no. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, and then I went, fly, fly. Okay, I'll stop already. Get back up there. Get back up there. I'd rather you turn around the other way because people don't want to see you poop. Turn around. Come on, turn around. Turn around, boy. Come on, turn it around. Al, turn it around. If he poops right there, it's going to go right in my ear. Al, come on. We don't trust you. No one's going to trust you for what you did yesterday. Turn around, boy. All right. He can also go on my head. He likes to perch up there. Now, sometimes he'll fly off of there, so we got to be prepared. He could just launch himself across the room. But yeah, we do stuff like this. I told Luis that he will have a really fun bird to play with. Owl's fun. I've never had a fancy bird like, a cockatoo or parrot or any of those fancy birds. This is about as fancy as it gets. But then again, if you think about it, wouldn't doesn't this exemplify who I am? I'm not a flashy kind of guy. I would be really, I would be out of place if it was me sitting here holding a parakeet, or some of the fancy birds that you all have are great. I think I've seen some really neat birds, but I'm not meant for those kind of birds. This is my bird here, y'all. This is my bird here. And I think that most of y'all that know me would agree. Say, you know what, Lester, that's true. I can't picture you with any other kind of bird besides a turkey sitting on your head. So anyway, so I'm reading a lot of neat comments. Thank y'all for being so positive. Let's pop a few of them up here. Y'all want to? So I know that Facebook can't see them. So I'll just read you what they say, Facebook. So I'm using the StreamYard on YouTube. And y'all probably might want to know why I'm doing that. You're like, Lester, you used to do them all together on the same platform. Why are you not doing it anymore? Well, okay, so StreamYard was doing great for us, but then all of a sudden Facebook did not like sharing content. And so whenever you put a video, listen, y'all, I'm not being mean when I say this, but Facebook wants exclusive rights to everything. As a matter of fact, as a creator, now when you upload to Facebook, you have to mark that you will not share this content with any other platform. So there you go. You have to do what your boss tells you to do. All right, so Kathy says, there is never a video I will not watch. Kathy, thank you. The longer ones and the lives, I do dishes or I'll fold laundry. Sing all you want, Lester. The ones that are true fans love you and your videos no matter what. Oh, Kathy, I have made some people angry. I've made some enemies along the way. I can promise you that. But I love your compliment, so thank you so very much. Linda says, this is just not my cup of tea. Okay, Linda. Linda with the Lynda. Okay, Linda, this is not your cup of tea. Okay, that's fine. I love you guys, but just please I don't like your singing. Okay, hey, I've developed a shell where things don't penetrate in. I am a rock hard, solid man here, Linda. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Free birds don't sing. Anyway, okay, all right. Well, hey, to each his own, and everyone is welcome to their comment. Now, here's what I will not do. Linda, I would never block or ban somebody for sharing an opinion. There's a very, very big difference in sharing your opinion than to bashing or hating somebody. There's Tracy Lynn. What's Tracy Lynn saying? Just do what's right for you. It's gotten you this far, so it must be working. Tracy, I'll talk about that for a second, and I'm not bragging. So it's hard to ever talk about success without people getting their feelings hurt. I don't understand that. So everyone knows the story of I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, and the 4 years, guys, 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears that Lester and Jamie put into I'm a Survivor, Ellie on occasion, to build the page to what it is. We take a lot of pride in not only the grounds as far as the farm here, but the master planning. And then I have to give huge shout out to the folks on Facebook who are the Facebook supporters, because even though we've never asked for money, they found a way to contribute $2.49 to our cause. And with that money, so I can't say we as in look what I did. What we did as a couple of individuals, along with all the folks who are the Facebook supporters, we built a beautiful, beautiful sanctuary. Some things we did ourselves, some things we needed help with. But nonetheless, we took and we did that. And then along the way, we built an audience of people who were really enjoying seeing a success story. I don't know what you guys would call it. It's not a Cinderella story, but it's a story of um, from rags to riches, but it's not riches. It's riches as far as the beauty of what we're doing with the animals here. Someone help me with the word choices here, but it's a story of, it's not just survival, but you know the little thing about the phoenix that comes out of the ashes and grows into this beautiful thing. And so it's very similar to that. There was a farm and a man, and that farm was just destroyed, and that man was just as destroyed from the inside out. And I always thank God that my kids were safe. Thank God that my kids were safe through all of that, and that my kids had another home to go to with their mom that was not affected by the hurricane flooding. And so it was a very difficult first year of rebuilding. And then when we started the page in year number 2, and then we began to have support of people who wanted to see the sanctuary do even greater things. Don't just rebuild a mediocre barn. Build a barn that can house your hay. Build a barn that can have stalls for your horses. Build the barn the size that you need for your future growth. And so we had a major undertaking with all of that. Thank you to the supporters who helped do that. And then we begin to make our videos with ads. And so the ads, you guys know this, your ads help pay bills, because as you watch videos and ads pop up, you make a couple of dollars from those things. Not each, obviously, but those pennies add up. And so we got the ponds dug, and we got all of the fencing redone. I'm just trying to think in my head all that we've done and trying to do in the proper order. When we got the ponds dug, we put berms around them so animals would have a high ground to go to for any future flooding. And so we did. It took a good solid 4 years to build I'm a Survivor into what you see today. But friends, if you think it was hard building this place, you have no idea what it takes to maintain it. And that right there is the killer. I mean, there's never a day off. It's every single day and most of every day. And so we've done all that we could here, I believe. And so it is a beautiful story. And so having animals like Al and then all the other babies that we have out around the pastures, so many of the babies who were abandoned or abused or neglected, who were rescued, we brought in and tried to give them their forever home. It's a story of overcoming. I'm trying to look up onto my Facebook, and someone says it's a story of overcoming adversity. And man, I just can't tell you, Lester, you're famous at SeaWorld in San Antonio. I wore your shirt, and you would not believe how many people, I mean, everyone walks up to me and says, "Oh my God, I love your shirt. I love Lester and Jamie." That's been really difficult for us because we don't want to be like that. We just want to be real people. And I hope that if you ever get anything from Lester and Jamie, stop all that nonsense about how we're fake. Man, I told y'all last time that we talked about the lady who kept saying, ever since y'all started making money, y'all became fake. No, we're not fake. There's still 136 babies out here that require their own kind of love. And if all you see is fake, then you're not looking at the bigger picture, all the animals that live here and thrive here and do so well here. But I don't want to be known as a funny guy. I want to be known as someone that loves these babies and will do anything for them as much as I possibly can. So I think all of us have to kind of at some point in life define our legacy and kind of work towards that. And that's all I want, is that the babies that were suffering, that we can offer a better home to, then do that. I don't know if any of that made sense to anybody. I don't know if any of that made sense to anybody. But hey, can y'all imagine how strong my neck is going to be after a few days of doing this? I can just feel just the extra weight of Al on my neck. This is probably something people could use as a workout. You've heard of goat yoga. We could just do anyone anyone interested in turkey yoga. Would anyone like to do anything with turkey yoga? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from. So now we've had I'll go ahead and continue that, and then I'll stop this story, and I'll probably stop this live when I say that I still have a really nice audience, so I don't want to give up on it too fast and send you off without finishing up this thought. I know this is probably not what you hoped you would have saw in a live. You probably wanted to see Lester crying again or something silly like that. But I will say that the success of the sanctuary has opened a lot of doors for us, but it's also shown a whole lot of people in your life who love to see you fail. That's true, y'all. There are a lot of people who would really love to see you fail. They can't stand that you've made something out of yourself. They can't stand to see that you're doing something that people get a joy and a kick and love from. They can't stand to see the emails and the letters and the comments of love just flowing and the hope and the inspiration that the animals provide to people. They can't stand to see that Lester's making someone laugh and that you've bonded with our kids and with this Morrow family. And I don't think that anyone here would know how lonely it can sometimes feel, because even though your name might be out there and you might have a pretty big following, on some of your pages, you might have a lot of stuff going for you, and you might be able to afford all of your bills. There's a lot of loneliness that comes with that. There's a lot of loneliness that comes with that. I used to listen to a fella. He was a younger guy, but I liked his style of singing. And he put out a one-hit wonder. I don't mind telling y'all this story. It's not animal related, so if you want to leave, you can. But he said that after his one-hit wonder, here he was with his one hit, and he's on stage and popping his shirt off, and man, life was really going his way until his song, ran its course. The same way this page will eventually run its course. It will happen, y'all. These pages will not be around forever. Just this morning, I told Jason and Daniel, I'm like, do you ever think about what will it look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because I can almost promise you that for as many people who come to your page every day, you have a lot of people who leave your page as well, and they find new places to go. Anyway, this particular story I'm going to tell you is one that just brings tears to my eyes because I can relate so well. He said that while he was up on stage doing his thing, opening act for a lot of different artists, popping his shirt off and the ladies oohing and awing and all of the behind the scenes and the backstage and the money rolling in, he thought that this is what it's all about. He said it wasn't until his next song that wasn't a hit. Neither was his third nor his fourth. And so at some point, he had found himself with an open calendar. There was nobody booking him for anything. And he found himself at an all-time low, because when you find yourself at that high and then all of a sudden the world kind of like falls apart on you and you find yourself at that low. And so he actually had remained friends with Avicii, who's also passed away by now. And Avicii had asked him for some help on a song. So Avicii flew him out to, I believe it was Sweden. I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know if it was Sweden or not. He flew him out to where Avicii lived in Sweden, and they worked together. Avicii didn't end up using any of his work, which was a huge letdown. But Avicii did give him tickets to go see him perform that night. And Tim Avicii put him in the general audience. And so this guy, his name is Mike Posner. If you want to look him up, you can look it up. Mike Posner, Posmer. Mike says he's sitting there in the general audience and he's looking around and everyone's just having so much fun at this concert. And it's kind of a spring break event and guys and girls are crazy. And he said he never felt so alone. He never felt so alone just sitting there. And on the stage is his friend, and he felt like life had just passed him by. Life was just passed him by. And so he said at some point, someone walked up and recognized him. Hey, aren't you that dude? And he said he just felt all this gratification. Suddenly he just felt so gratified that someone here in this crowd recognized me, because it's only been a couple of years since his big hit. And it took that short a time for everyone to forget. And so the guys that knew him or recognized him ended up hanging out with them, and they gave him a pill. And he took that pill because he didn't have anything else going for him. And that song is called I Took a Pill in Ibiza. And guys, I'll tell you what, that song ended up coming back and putting him back on the stage, putting him back into on people's calendars. But he tells his testimony of the way he felt at his darkest and his loneliest hour is something that a lot of people don't realize. When someone as you might think is on top of the world, they could also be struggling quite, more than what you realize. And it's very lonely. I'll just say that it's very lonely sometimes, very, very lonely. And if you knew how lonely it was, you would feel differently about some things that you say. So we're all blessed that all of our needs are being met. They are, I would say that all of our needs are being met. There's no one who's going without here. And we've paid that blessing forward, and we've tried to get other creators here on Morrow Hill to have a chance to have some exposure to what they do in life. And not all of us are the same. We're all very different. And so, no, but I don't even know where that came from, and I don't know where that's going. There's some really neat comments coming through right now. Man, this is going to actually make really good reading material for tonight. Oh my gosh, there's Anna Marie. Anna Marie is my friend up in Canada. Lester, are you selling your new style of hat? Anna, I would be happy to, but it's only if you could afford the cleaning bills, because this style of hat is not going to stay clean for long. I love Anna, and I let her down recently. Anna sends me emails on occasion. And guys, over the holidays, it got so busy. It got so busy that I was neglecting reading my emails. And it was, and then Anna sent a follow-up email, and she thought she'd said something to offend me or something to hurt me, or maybe she didn't know what she'd done. And so I apologized yesterday. I profoundly apologized and said, you know what? It wasn't that at all. This is a serious conversation. But then Al's just sitting there. Vanessa. Lester, can we get a live puppy cam for Christmas's birth? I don't know. We don't have the best of internet over there at the other property, and that's where we're going to keep Christmas until she has these babies. But I will see. So listen, I don't know where that come from, but I know I've wasted all of my hour, and I will probably have to let you guys go now with nothing of essence coming out of this live whatsoever. I will say this. Is there anyone that wants to share anything that I could share with everybody else? Ashley says, I suffer from severe depression and anxiety, but didn't with COVID this whole last week. I'm now in my slump because of it. I got to get back to work because sitting at home like this isn't good for my mental health. Man, I can vouch for that one. I know that is a fact. So the shutdown and everyone being stuck at home, I think did more damage than good. And so, this is kind of goes back to that whole the strongest survive. I don't think anyone was sitting there saying, come on, man, let's get back to work. Take off them masks. The strongest survive. No, when it came to a worldwide pandemic, I think that we were all equally terrified for ourselves, for our families, for our parents, our kids, our co-workers. And if you lost anybody during all of that, then you're not one of those who's saying, come on, Lester, just let the bird go. The strong will survive. And if not, that's the way Mother Nature intended it. So it's easy to say that until that comes knocking on your door. And God forbid, I hope that you never find yourself with a sick child or a sick partner and you're going to eat them words. Come on, only the strong survive. That's the way Mother Nature intended it. So we don't feel that way about our animals. We'll try to help them any way that we can. Someone says a lot of people follow fads, and the fad thing is temporary, especially when it makes people all sound alike. Just to have a chance is not a way to go because diversity is something to celebrate. So, Lori, I would absolutely agree with you. And so I do think that people follow fads. And that's why this is crazy, but I see new pages that open up on the internet. And this is how bad I am. Lori and everyone else, I'm almost embarrassed to admit this. But when you follow a page long enough, when you read enough comments, you begin to recognize names. Here's Tracy Boyer. Guys, I talk to Tracy Boyer on Messenger all the time. You begin to recognize names, okay? And I'm not calling out Tracy's comment, but you begin to recognize people and names. And then sometimes I'll go to another channel and I'm like, oh, well, there's Tracy Boyer. I'm just saying example. Tracy, I'm not really saying that to you. I'm just saying example. There's Tracy Boyer. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I've not seen Tracy on the page in a long time. Tracy's not emailed or messaged in forever. And so what I'm saying is this is not really you, Tracy. I'm just saying in general. But people do. They do the fads, a fad. And so I'm a survivor could be a fad. And all of a sudden, out pops shirtless Jake Homestead. Oh boy, now you can see a guy with no shirt running around. What a cute smile. And he laughs and giggles like a little girl. I just love this guy who loves a big cow. But the problem is what you have to do is you have to continually find things to change and to continue to keep people entertained because a business will die, my friends, if you don't evolve. Al's starting to get a little bit jumpy, a little bit jittery. I think that might be my sign of taking him back to where he belongs. But Tracy, it was good seeing you, and I'll read your comment a little bit later. But I got to get off now. I'm past my hour, and I will say it was a lot of fun hollering and talking to you all. Thank you all for putting up with Al, and he will for sure be going with Luis tonight if all goes well, and Luis can come over after work. Then Luis will take him, and let's hope that Luis will include with us a lot of neat videos. Hold on, I want to read that. Oh, these are the hard ones to read, but this is the kind of stuff that motivates me to say what I'm going to say. I will make videos and I will post videos for as long as Facebook and YouTube allows me to. Lester, you and Jamie have saved my life. I have crippling anxiety and PTSD and depression because I found my husband when he committed suicide, and you guys bring me my only light besides my kids. Charlotte, I can't imagine the pain that you have to deal with. So you have your kids, and I hope that they are the ones that can kind of keep you going, even on days when you don't feel like going. But your husband is no longer with you. Your partner and probably your best friend has left you. but I can promise you that he probably also had his issues. So don't ever blame yourself for not have for what he did and in leaving this earth. The thing is, you having children are going to have to overcome the loss of your husband and friend. You're going to have to raise your kids alone. Hopefully, you have a good support system around you. And then the part that a lot of folks don't understand is you have crippling anxiety. You have PTSD, which can trigger, and people don't realize how it can trigger from almost anything. And then you go through your depression, your bouts of depression. And so that trauma of finding your husband the way you found him, the shock is something that our minds cannot comprehend. Our minds have never learned, with all of the amazing medical breakthroughs, Charlotte, our minds have never learned to make connect things. And so you're going to really have to work, Charlotte, to make this the best life for your kids. And I admire you for your work ethic and for you able to have the guts to admit that you have some things. But I feel like this is going to work out fine for you, Charlotte. And I'm so blessed that you find an escape in Jamie and our videos. That means a lot. That means a whole lot, Charlotte. And I'm praying for you. I'm going to do it right now. I'm not a prayer person. I'm not near as good as my brother, Uncle Dan. But I'm just going to ask God to keep his hand on Charlotte and her kids. And sometimes, we can sit there and feel sorry for ourselves. We do. We can find reasons to feel sorry for ourselves. And then someone will come across the page and give you a real slap across the face. I know you didn't mean to, Charlotte, but she can make you realize that, boy, who do you think you are feeling bad for yourself when this is what real life looks like? And I run across that in emails all the time. People who speak of true hardships and true adversity that they have to fight every single day to overcome. And it makes us realize that that's like what they call having a taste of humble pie. So thank you. Moody boobs. Okay. Jana, I totally agree. I recognize names in the comments here all the time. And then some folks can become celebrities in your comments. Let's see what Facebook is saying, and then I'll let you all go. I never make a live. This is my birthday too. Well, Jill, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jill. Hope that this over here is all you've ever dreamt of seeing in your birthday wish. Lester with his turkey sitting on his head. Wishing you a happy birthday. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it right there, friends. Thank you all for joining me on my live. And I want y'all to remember that you don't know sometimes what an impact you make on our lives. You don't realize sometimes how much your comments and your support and you just being here means to us. And you all keep your prayers. Keep Lana, our friend Lana, in your prayers. She's hospitalized right now with a respiratory issue. And then, of course, the lady who wrote a minute ago or so, Charlotte, with what she's going through. And I can promise you, if I had time to read the hundreds or thousands of comments, there's a lot of folks who are struggling. And so happy birthday to the birthday girl. And yeah, this is what you get over here. So we love you guys, and we'll catch y'all next time. And this might be your last time to see this handsome fellow for a while. But when he makes his appearance, hopefully he'll still be right here on my head. And let's hope we can get that to happen sooner, because I don't know how I'm going to make it without him. All right. He's moving around. That means we got to get off the internet now. We love you guys, and we'll catch you next video.